The mission of the Bartlesville Police Department is to enhance the quality of life in our community by working cooperatively with the public and within the framework of the United States Constitution to enforce the laws, preserve the peace, reduce fear, and provide a safe environment for all of our citizens. Hello, and welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm Police Chief Tracy Rolls, and thank you, as always, for joining us here today. Our featured guest today is Community Service Officer Raley. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And thank you for all that you do for our city to help keep us all safe and compliant when it comes to parking regulations. Ray is our parking enforcement officer, among other things. So, Ray, how long have you been with the Bartlesville Police Department?
I've been with the Bartlesville Police Department a total of 12 years. Just a few extra months. Started out as a 911 operator, and then moved to parking and then to community service.
Excellent. So 12 years, and before that you were in the corporate world?
Yes.
So a long-time employee of the Bartlesville Police Department has served our community for over 10 years, and so we appreciate that and thank you for what you do for our community and for our police department. You also wear a couple of different hats. You're a reserve officer, a long-time reserve officer, the senior reserve officer. So how does being a reserve officer kind of intermingle with your duties as a community service officer?
Well, it gives me an opportunity to see both sides of how the police department operates. Most of the reserve officers have limited experience with the PD, and the fact that I'm here every day, all day, and work with the officers, it makes it easier for me to convey to the reserves what's required of them and what kind of things may be expected of them in their role as reserves.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that. So what is the overall goal of enforcement of parking regulations in the city of Bartlesville?
Well, my main job is to keep vehicles moving downtown. And the purpose behind that is so that the downtown businesses have adequate parking available for their customers to be able to come in and do business downtown. With people monopolizing spaces, our businesses can't thrive.
Absolutely, and so those business owners really like to keep traffic moving. It keeps new people in their businesses, new money in their businesses. So it's important. You know, it's funny to me because we get a lot of complaints about parking tickets. It's probably the highest complained area that we have. It's interesting to me that if you go to a city like Tulsa, a big city, you're okay with parking 3 or 4 blocks away and walking to your destination. But you come to Bartlesville, if you don't get to park right in front of your destination, it's like the sky's falling. It's like, what are we doing? Yes. It's interesting to me that we have that mindset.
It's just a matter of being able to find something, and if you have to drive around for 5 minutes to try to find a parking spot, you'll give up and go somewhere else, which is why it's so critical that we keep spaces available.
Absolutely, and you alluded to this, but why is parking enforcement in and of itself important?
Well, if we didn't do any of the parking enforcement, if we just said, okay, do whatever, there are people out there who would monopolize the parking, and there would be no parking available, which then results in downtown businesses having customers. They'll either close their business, which hurts us on our revenue, tax revenue. The other thing is they'll move out to a different area, and now the people downtown, if you didn't have pizza places and hamburger places and coffee places, they would have to take and travel somewhere to do that. We have businesses available downtown that will take care of just about anything you need for your break or your lunch, after hour stuff. So it's important that we keep those spaces available for the citizens that want to come downtown and shop.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is very, very important. It's not about a citation. It's about keeping that flow, keeping those spaces so new people can come in and enjoy those businesses.
I have told a lot of people, I says, my job is not writing violations, citations for parking. My job is to keep cars moving. If you prefer not to move, then yeah, you're gonna get a citation. But I'd just as soon move the car, and I don't write anything.
Yeah. Now, you do get to ride around in a cool little vehicle.
Yes.
What's that thing called?
It's a Daihatsu Hi-Jet minivan.
Yeah.
It took us probably 6 months to locate that. It was a long search to find something that would fit the need and still be economical. The previous vehicle, the three-wheeler, the Go4, New York uses a lot of them. Several municipalities do, but they're $36,000 a piece. We could have bought a right-hand drive Jeep for less than that, but this vehicle is very well suited. It's small, it's easily maneuverable, easy to get in and out of, and it can get me anywhere in town I need to go.
Yeah. And you drive on the wrong side of the vehicle, right?
I drive on the right side.
It's an interesting vehicle, and it's very practical.
Mhm.
It's very well marked, and I'm glad that we have that opportunity. You know, parking enforcement is like a lot of things in police work is evolving.
Mhm.
You know, we're talking about some electronic type, GPS type, cool next level parking enforcement stuff. If you want to speak to that.
Well, I don't know if you're aware that in Saginaw, Michigan, there was a court case where an attorney went to court. Well, he had a client, and they went to court and they said that marking the tires is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And Saginaw fought it in some strange way that I haven't quite figured out, and determined that it was legal. And so they appealed it, and the court that's over Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee determined that yes, it was a violation of constitutional rights. So that prompted us to look at, if that were to happen here, what are we going to do? And so this GPS electronic marking, basically chalkless marking is what they call it, will allow us to do that without actually touching the vehicle.
Yeah. So what are some steps? What are the steps a person could take if they receive a parking citation?
Well, the simplest thing is to take the ticket, go to City Hall, pay your ticket.
Okay.
Now, if it's an actual parking violation, it's a $15 ticket. If you don't pay it within 10 days, then it goes to $25. If you fail to pay it at all in 90 days, then you go on what's called the nuisance list. The judge has a list of people who have not paid their parking tickets, which basically puts your car at risk of being impounded. Well, even if you're not on the judge's toll list, you have 3 or more parking tickets, you're subject by city ordinance to either be impounded or booted.
Okay.
So
it's important to pay those parking tickets in a timely manner.
Yes, it is. And one thing that I do have to say, and I've told a lot of people this, if I find an expired tag, what the judge has had us do is, if it's displaying expired, I'll write that ticket. It says 35. You get the ticket taken care of, get the tag taken care of, take it in. It's a $10 ticket.
Excellent.
As opposed to, I think it's $279 if a patrol officer gets you.
Very
So I try to save you money.
Absolutely, very good information. So in closing, and very quickly, very simple. What's a tip or two that you can provide to avoid, so a person could avoid receiving a parking ticket?
Rent space, set a timer on your smartphone, or avail yourself to free parking if it's provided by your employer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for what you do for the city for over the past 12 years. We really, really appreciate it. And for being a reserve officer as well, donating your time to serve our community. So thank you for that. And thank you all for joining us again here on Behind the Badge. Until next time, please make sure to like us and follow us on Instagram at BPD Badge, at the Bartlesville Police Department Facebook page, and on YouTube at Behind the Badge. Until next week, Take care, stay safe, and call us if you need us.